evening and welcome to Pound Posse Presents. I 4 years into it and I still want to play when my music plays. I can't help myself. And I say it like all the time. And Speedo reminded me, 4 years into it, we're almost at another renewal.
Yeah, 3 weeks from Monday.
3 weeks from Monday. It's been a great ride, 4 years went by quickly. And we're actually, coming up on 4.5, I guess. It's crazy. How many years you been doing it again?
12, I guess.
Like 12 years? Wow, that's a veteran. It seems like yesterday almost that I started, but then it seems like forever ago at the same time. The studio was so much different. If anybody's ever watched any of the old shows, it was just a whole different setup, and things have come a long way, but it's all good. 4 years later, here we are, and as always, I only hope that I'm making a difference somewhere. Anyway, speaking of making a difference, this week some really exciting news. Desmonds Law, which is something that I've talked about fairly endlessly and written about as well, it passed the House. And now it goes on to the Senate. Now, it was a really cool thing. It was touch and go. It could be called at any time. My friends who have been working so hard, and God bless them, were keeping people up to date. Robin, who was here a few weeks ago with Baloo, she's very involved in the trying to make this happen. And, she was posting on Facebook, updates so that everybody would know what was going on. And when it got called onto the floor, there was actually a live stream of what was going on. And who knew? I mean, I'm all for the law, but I'm not that politically savvy that I would even know that. So I clicked the link, and you actually got to watch the proceedings, which was crazy. And the vote, they showed the board, and you could see like the names popping up in red and green for the yes votes and the no votes. And in the end, Zach, pull up the Desmonds Law picture. This is how we ended up. 119 yay, 24 nay, and 7 no votes. So this was like a whole big board, and there was the names of all the representatives, and really, as they were doing the vote, I was sobbing like a baby, because it was like you could see all the greens coming up, and so you knew you were, at one point, you just knew you were in the majority, I'll take the camera back, and the really amazing thing was there was one representative, and I don't know, I'm not going to pretend I know how he was the person to field the questions that the other people had. Very interesting process, and he was a champ. His last name was Tong, and he was from the Stamford Darien area, and I really have to give him props because he maintained such a level of patience and professionalism, because some of the questions were just like gruelingly stupid in my opinion. And there was one question, it just like, I was thinking, what? And you could kind of see his face was this like, he's like, I'm not sure I understand the question, but I think, and I was like, oh, bless this guy, because I'd have been like, what? Are you stupid? But he really, with such professionalism, and you could tell he really wasn't an animal person from some of the answers that, he wasn't that knowledgeable about animals, but he was familiar enough with what Desmonds Law was trying to do that he banged out these answers, and it was amazing. So definitely got to give props to him. Diana Urban and Renee Danino have been very strong supporters. Amy Harrell from Connecticut Votes for Animals. These ladies, my friend Robin, a whole bunch of people just been doing amazing things trying to push and push and push. So many people I know sent emails, wrote letters, just, it's been a great effort. And to have this pass the House was just such a victory, because this is the third time that it's gone through, and it's been voted down every time. Now, yeah, there had to be some amendments and, some clarification, but, with every victory comes a little bit of concession. And so now it goes on to the Senate. So it's still going to be a vote, and there are still people who are not on board. So it's not going to be a hurtful thing to continue to contact people and to continue to try to persuade the people who are going to be voting on it in the Senate that this needs to get all the way through. If you follow the Connecticut Votes for Animals Facebook page, if you go to CT Votes for Animals, ctvotesforanimals.org, all the information that you still need to know is publicly up there. There's the group that we talked about when Robin was here, but and there are a lot of great updates there. But to stick to Desmonds Law, definitely follow Connecticut Votes for Animals, and just if you haven't written a letter, write one. Write a new one. Contact whoever you can to try to get this through, because you've got a matter of like days to do this in, because I think it's this week that this is going to be like a thing. But congratulations to everybody who's worked so hard, and again, props to Mr. Tong, because he was just he fielded those questions like a champ. He really, really did. So again, a huge thanks and congratulations to the entire team, and to everyone who has written letters and been on board. Sometimes it's out of your comfort level, and while I'm a writer and a journalist and all that other stuff, I don't write letters I'm not politically motivated. So yeah, it was a little bit of a thinking process for me, not so much out of my comfort level, but it was out of my regular zone to do something like that. But if I can do it, you can do it. And there's template letters and there's ideas of what to say. So jump in there and support that, and all the other bills that Connecticut Votes for Animals puts out there. They do need the support, so do it. You'll feel good. Anyway, that was the good news for tonight. Unfortunately, there's some sad news too. And Zach, let's get the pictures up of Polly. Hold this one for a minute. You may remember Polly the Blind Pibble. You can see the picture up at the top where she's on the park bench. We met her when she was about 6 months ago, when she was found alone and abandoned on that park bench. She was a blind, scared, throwaway mama with serious heart problems. We fell in love with her. We took Flat Polly with us everywhere on her bucket list of adventures. I'm sure you remember the night that I had Flat Polly here with me on the show. And I also took her to the Sweet Pea fundraiser in December. And that picture was taken and sent to the Flat Polly page. And, she became a part of our lives because she finally got the care and the attention and the love that she really needed. She had her ups and downs with her health. She had surgery. She had more ups and downs with her health. Recently, she was really, she's hooked up to heart monitors, and, she was having some episodes where she would faint, the poor thing. Unfortunately, she left us this week. And, that's it. Nobody saw it coming, I don't think. Now there's another hole in our hearts. And I have to offer a huge thanks to her rescue ladies, as she called them. Zach, let's get the next picture up. The rescue ladies and Forever Home Pet Rescue, we have to thank them for sharing Polly with us and for taking such good care of her. This picture was like what I woke up to, I think it was Wednesday morning, after having seen her good night post the night before, where she was all happy and, things were good. Apparently, she ate her dinner, and she ate a good dinner, which she hadn't been doing because of her medications were kind of affecting her appetite. And, she crawled in her bed and was settled in her fluffy blanket, and she had another one of her episodes. And apparently they, tried to perform CPR on her, and she never came back, which it was a shocker to wake up to. It really was. It's so sad when we lose these dogs. It's on the heels of my losses and so many other losses of people that I know, and you get attached to these Facebook dogs. You may never know them, you never have a chance to know them, but you lose them and you feel like you lost one of your own, you know what I mean? Anyway, next picture up, Zach. There's going to be a balloon release for Polly, and that's going to be next week. And if you want to know how you can get involved with that, even from a distance, you can go to Polly Blind Pibble is the Facebook page for Polly. If you want to leave your condolences, if you want to send her a message. There's also this post is on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. And, I know that there's a huge controversy when it comes to releasing balloons. And apparently there's not going to be strings attached to these. There's the controversy is already on the page. People are leaving comments, balloons being bad for the environment, wildlife get caught in the strings, they eat them, it creates havoc. And I'm only bringing this up, again, because the controversy has already been brought up on the page. There's a couple of websites that were posted in the threads and the comments. I find it inconclusive. There was one post for, one website for, one website against. I don't personally have enough knowledge to make a judgment on doing this. The fact that there's not going to be strings is a good thing, because it's a lot of times the string that causes the problem. But you know what? People are going to do what they want to do. And again, I don't have enough information to say yay or nay at this point. I don't know what eco-friendly balloons they're going to be using. So, again, if you want to do something, get involved with this. Look up Polly, P-O-L-Y, Blind Pebble. And it's also on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page and my own personal page. So you use your discretion, do your research. And if somebody finds out something and can offer me some education, by all means, post it on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. I'm happy to have the information. Anyway, I will take the camera back for a hot moment. And, I spend a lot of time preparing for the show, and I look for dogs and cats to share with you. I look for information that we can talk about. And, sometimes there's a lot out there. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes there's not enough stuff for me and maybe the frame of mind I'm in, or what I think I want to do with the show. There's an awful lot of dogs out there who need homes, and cats as well. And that's one thing that just never changes. Now, the one guy who really tore at my heartstrings today, and I saw him in the last couple of days, is Oscar. And Zach, let's get the pictures of Oscar up. Look at this guy.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay to look. Speedo's like, he's afraid that it's going to be like horrible pictures. No, it's just a cute little face he reminds me of my Kelly. If you look at my cover picture on Facebook, the little peanut in the middle of the two big guys, that's who this dog reminds me of. He's got the same kind of face, But anyway, Oscar's owner could no longer take care of him. So now he is, I guess he's at a vet's office or in boarding. I wasn't really clear based on the email that, or the post that I saw. But look at that face, this poor old guy. 10 years old. He is a Jack Russell Terrier mix. He's neutered. He's up to date on his vaccinations. They're saying he's a little overweight. I see it, but not a lot. I guess they've adjusted his diet to try to slim him down a little bit. He does have some lumps and bumps. You know, older dogs sometimes just get lumpy. They get like little fatty bumps on them, and yeah, it's nothing that's dangerous or needs to be addressed, especially with an older dog, you know. My Duke had lumps and bumps, and there was nothing I was going to do about it at his age, you know, as long as they didn't bother anything. And sometimes you never know what's going on inside, but it is what it is. Little lumps and bumps in an old guy, not the worst thing in the world. Oscar is a little arthritic, but he's overall in good health. They would prefer him to go to a home with no small children because he's never had to live with them. Apparently, he's good with easygoing dogs like him because he's kind of laid back. And, you know, at 10 years old, you're not really, and a little dog isn't old, but they're slowing down. I mean, I see it in my Gidget. She's going to be 11, and she used to be a little spitfire like Bella is, and she's really not anymore. But then again, she has a heart murmur, so that kind of slows her down too. She got like a mid-grade heart murmur, so it's going to slow her down a little bit. I mean, I see it in her energy level when she does play with Bella. You know, usually she would be endless like Bella is, and now she's just like, all right, peace, I'm done. So that's probably what you'd be looking at with this guy, you know, likes to go for walks, still active. You know, he's just a little guy. He's not going to take up a lot of room. He's not going to eat you at a house and home. He loves to be loved. And I'll tell you, he's probably very confused. You know, if he's been with the same people for 10 years and now he's, you know, away from home and he doesn't know what's going to happen and are they going to come back for him? You know, that's the plight of most dogs who end up in a shelter or in a situation like this. You know, they're someplace and they don't know if their people are going to come back for them. And that's going to be really hard because it's not like you can understand them or they can understand you and what's going on. And, you know, it's got to be hard. And we'll talk about that a little more in a minute. But if you're interested in Oscar, the email is, it looks like Jillian Hood with a 0 at the end. That's JILLIANHOOD0 @gmail.com. JILLIAN Hood HOOD0 @gmail.com. And you know, maybe you're interested in this guy and you can find out more about whatever their requirements are, because there really was no information, you know, about the adoption process, but he needs a home, and that's all you need to know. If you're interested, give him a shout. He'd probably be a really easy dog to have, you know, his weight problem aside, which is really nothing. All you got to do is get him moving a little bit, and, you know, he's probably very much like my Kelly, overfed, probably an older person who had him and just kind of overfed him, you know. Kelly's owner used to go to the diner and bring back leftovers, and so Kelly was twice her weight, which was not cool. But anyway, I will take the camera back and I'm going to elaborate for a couple minutes on, you know, the fact that dogs like Oscar, dogs everywhere in the state, are sitting in shelters just waiting to be saved. And, you know, they've been let down by people, who knows how many times, who knows what the circumstances were. They need homes, they need patience, and they need love, you know. The ultimate failure is when they die waiting for homes and they never get to know what it's like to be a loved and treasured member of the family and live in a place where love grows instead of indifference or abuse or, whatever their situation. The warmer summer months are coming, and that means that inevitably adoptions slow down. And I'm going to, put it out there now. That's when a lot more dogs are at risk. That's when a lot more dogs end up on the urgent lists and end up losing the fight to find a home. So if you're considering adopting a dog, please don't wait. The dog that you take from a shelter today saves that dog's life and makes room for the next dog, and so on and so on. So think about it. If you're going to do it, don't hesitate, because you're truly saving not just one life, but two. There are dogs everywhere. They're good dogs. They all need a chance. And the thing to remember is that no dog is going to be perfect. Some people expect way too much, which sets a dog up for failure. You can't compare a new dog to any dogs that you've had before. They're not going to be the same. It's something that I have to be aware of too, because, as far as I'm concerned, I've had the best. My Duke and Bocce, there's never going to be a Duke and Bocce again. So you've got to kind of take in a new animal, just like you take in a new friend, just like you take in a new partner, warts and all, so to speak, and work with what you've got. And it's not impossible. It just really isn't. I'm going to cut this short because I want to talk about a couple of things that are happening in the next couple of weeks. First up, Zach, we've got the Bikers Against Animal Cruelty Shelter Run and Cinco de Mayo Party. We talked about this when they were on the show a few weeks ago. The fun starts early with a ride leaving from Middletown, and it ends with a party at the Disabled American Veterans Hall in Meriden from 12 to 4. Anytime Bikers Against Animal Cruelty has an event, it's great. It's a lot of fun. They're the most wonderful people. I can't stress that enough. I really do love all of them. And, if you can make it, they're great people to get to know. I have to keep saying that you don't have to ride a motorcycle to be a member, and you don't have to be a member really to be involved in their events. They're open to everybody. So not sure. We'll see. I'm going to try to make it. I promised Wolfstock, and I did that last week. I didn't make any promises about this one, so maybe we'll see, because, it's hard for me to do stuff on a Saturday and get the show done, too. Last week, I totally forgot to do the show the night before, so it kind of tripped me up in the morning. Anyway, next thing up is Sweet Peas Volunteer Recruitment Saturday. Do we have that picture, Zach? Yes, we do. Sweet Pea Friends of Rutland Animals, a shelter that is near and dear to my heart, up in Paxton, Massachusetts. If you're, within distance to be able to get there on a regular basis, they are having a volunteer recruitment. They're getting ready to rebuild. They have posted the plans for the building, and it looks great. I really wish I was a lot closer. They need all kinds of help. They're going to need people to, exercise and walk dogs. They're going to need people to keep cats entertained and play with them. They're going to need people to, clean kennels. They're going to need people to do grounds work. All aspects of volunteers, people to go and do events with them. To do it, I think part of the most fun possible is to be able to go help at events, because you really get to see things in motion. You get to see things in action. It's great. I used to love to do stuff like that. And, there's some things I miss about being involved directly with a shelter, and there's some things I don't. But by all means, this is on May 14th and it is from 10 to 2. If you can get there, they're a great bunch of people to get involved with, and everybody is welcome. You know, that's one of those things where they take in all manners of animals with all manners of needs, and they welcome everybody from all walks of life. And it's a place where everybody belongs, and that's, you know, one of the most beautiful things about Sweet Pea. They're just really down to earth, and, you know, do everything from their heart. And God bless them for getting through, I'll take the camera back, getting through everything that they've been through, and, you know, coming out strong. It's really a beautiful thing to see. And again, like I said, they're wonderful people, and I support them 1,000%. Anyway, we're winding down. Got just like a very little bit of time left, and I don't know if she's watching, but I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Anne Marie and say hi if you're watching. This week my Duke would have been 14, and I made his birthday a Cinco de Mayo event of its own, and I really wish that he was here to have that birthday. He fell just short, so it's going to be kind of a rough week for me. So you can all think about me on Cinco de Mayo and remember Duke with me. If you're going to adopt a pet, please run out and do it. It's the best thing you can ever do, is to save a life. Right now, I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. Until next week, thank you and good night.